Hi everyone, Tony from Hack the Movies here, and this is kind of a unique video to the channel. Usually I do vlogs like these for Patreon, but this was kind of a big thing that I didn't expect to partake in, so I thought it deserved its own video. I went to Universal Studios for the first time since 2007 earlier this month, and just by coincidence, I didn't plan on this. I was there during the 30th anniversary celebration of Jurassic Park, which is one of my favorite films. I have a review for it with Clayton Fioriti. The official anniversary was June 11th, which I'll talk about that date in a little bit. I left the park before June 11th, but the celebration was going on during it. I'm going to show some pictures of what I'm talking about. But yes, actually, I used to love Universal Studios. When Islands of Adventure opened up and I heard they were making a Jurassic Park island, I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. Because I knew there was a log ride in California. They rebuilt the log ride in Universal Orlando. And I didn't get to go on it this time. The line was a little too long. I was more focused on going on rides that I had not gone on. As far as I could tell from looking up videos, the Jurassic Park log ride in Universal Orlando has not been ruined yet. The one in California was turned into Jurassic World. Awesome. Anyway, I want to talk about the island itself, some of the new things there, and then we'll talk about the 30th anniversary celebration. Yes, so I went on the Velocicoaster, which is still pretty new, I think. I think it was only in like the last few years it's been built. Yeah, walking through, they have a lot of Jurassic World stuff in the line. For example, let me see here. You got Blue and the other raptors all locked up. I like the story of the ride. It's like you have to escape the park. Chris Pratt's there. Bryce Dallas Howard's there. They're like, it's going to be great. You're going to drive through with the raptors. And Chris Pratt's like, that's a terrible idea. And they're supposed to be chasing you the whole time. I'm not lying when I say this. And maybe it's because I haven't been on a roller coaster in a very long time. Actually, I went to Disney in 2019. I did do the Everest coaster, but that's not like a super intense coaster. The Velocicoaster scared the ever-living hell out of me. There's this thing called airtime or hang time. Which, if I experienced it on other roller coasters, I could not remember. You only have a lap bar. So imagine my shock when I went through a loop and it felt like I was being pulled out of my seat. My mother and I cling to our seats with our knees, just clenching because we thought we were falling out. My mom thought she fell out. She cursed the entire time, really upsetting some family members and kids. Great roller coaster. Great roller coaster. Afterwards, as you can see, this is some of the merch that they've had there, and I'll talk about more of the merch, some of the 30th anniversary. I'm glad the visitor center was still intact. Again, it's built like the one in the film, obviously different, stores everywhere. But they have the two skeletons, which is really all I need from it. The big dome and the skeletons is what I want. Yes, and I just really brought me back to being a teenager. You know, growing up with Jurassic Park in the 90s and then the early 2000s, being able to like basically be in the movie or feel like you're in the movie was really great. If you're wondering why I'm wearing that stupid hat, it's because I shaved my head before I went down there and I didn't want it to get burned. And as you can see, the Discovery Center's there, and we have the Velocicoaster behind it. So yeah, it still really holds up. But this is when I went into the park, I started noticing all the 30th anniversary. I'm like, oh my God, yes, that's right. It's June 2023. The movie came out June 1993. So that was really cool. We walked around the park. Last time I was there, and I would have to dig back and try to find pictures wherever they are. These two dinosaurs, the T-Rex and the Spinosaurus, they had the Mercedes cars from Lost World. That's how long it's been since I've been there, but they've since put the actual cars there. When I first went to Universal like earlier in that week. Outside the theater in City Walk, they had the cars from Fast X. When we were leaving, I guess they were going to do a screening of Jurassic Park. They had the Jurassic Park Jeeps. So I don't know if it was these Jeeps and they moved them or they just had extras. So, because we left right the day before June 11th. So they were moving the cars into City Walk. So that was really cool. We had fun there. I actually like this raptor experience. They used to have in Jurassic Park a Triceratops experience where they had this big animatronic Triceratops. And basically a girl would talk to you about it. It was like you're at a zoo. And that was really cool. Instead, they've replaced it with this this blue encounter experience. That was a lot of fun. And yeah, just really, really nostalgic. So yes, then we went to the actual Universal Park. Now, I don't know why any of this wasn't in the Jurassic Island. Probably makes the most sense to put it there. Maybe there wasn't room there. Outside... during the park, we were walking, and again, I did not know this was going to be here, and we see the sick Triceratops from Jurassic Park, and I was like, oh my god, that's great. Let's take a picture of it. And then we realized, oh, there's a tribute store. So it was the Jurassic Park 30th anniversary tribute store. And yeah, I thought it was just going to be more merch from the island and a few things, but I was really, really impressed when I was going in there. Because it had a lot of the making of stuff. You'll see what I mean. So yes, obviously props. They had a ton of props from the film. I don't know if these are all screen used or if they're just recreations. But still, it was really, really cool. I love I'm telling you. I know people make these. I would love to get these dishes. I love those Jurassic Park dishes. But yeah, this is a lot of the merch that was on display in the film. The little brochure maps. You have Alan Grant's book right there, and then the real Jack Horner book. Obviously, the can from Jurassic Park. Again, I don't know if those are originals, or maybe they're ones from, Dominion, or maybe they're just recreations. But still, it was cool to see it on display. I love doing this. They built the control panel. And I had a lot of fun, like, clicking the buttons and everything. And I had to do the push to close. That was really great. And they went one step further. They had the Raptor next to it coming out. I thought that was really awesome. Mr. Hammond, I think we're back in business. It was cool to relive that. Sorry, my phone is vibrating. Let me move that over there. So yeah, really great set. And like what you're not seeing is like they do have shelves of just more and more merch that you can buy. But yeah, these little displays that they built were really great. Now this is actually in the entrance. That is the dinosaur input device. I don't know if it's the original dinosaur input device. But if you watch the making of Jurassic Park, and I love how they made it look like a 90s ILM desk. I thought that was really, really neat with the old Panasonic TV. So they would have puppeteers use the dinosaur input device, and the movements would be fed into the computer. And you can see Phil Tippett there. That is clearly not from the 90s. That is current Phil Tippett using the dinosaur input device there. There is a Raptor, which I think might have been used for the Go Motion test, or the stop motion test they did to kind of storyboard it. Now this for sure, again, I don't know if it's the original ones, but if you watch the DVD or Blu-ray of Jurassic Park, they have two sequences that are storyboarded through stop motion. The T-Rex scene and the Raptor scene. That's how like meticulously planned those scenes are. So it was really cool to see this stuff in person. I thought this was really, really neat because I've watched those animated stop motion scenes a lot. I think we mentioned it in our review of the film. It's actually funny. The Raptors have like little snake tongues coming out, and eventually one of the paleontologists was like, no, they don't do that. But yeah, it was cool seeing that little guy. Obviously, they had to put the Dilophosaurus there. That thing was cool. This was also awesome, getting to be, and that's what I'm talking about, how they had like little stores built in. Being in the kitchen set, like they even put like the window with the fan there. That's incredible. You could pick up those spoons and everything. It was just so cool. My mom was like, you have to. She was like, you have to do the thing where he's sitting down there. I'm like, yes. And of course, my favorite thing they did was the toilet. They did the toilet with the T-Rex coming in. I thought that was hilarious. Although that T-Rex does look like the Buck from Lost World. I'm not sure if it is, though. So, yeah, it was great experiencing that. Now, there were a lot of, I didn't take pictures all of it, but there were a lot of, like, unique candy bars and unique merchandise limited to just that pop-up store or some of the stuff I saw in the pop-up store was in the island in general, but a lot of things were specifically made. So I couldn't resist. I got myself a Jurassic Park 30th anniversary hat. I was sitting there and I'm like, you know what? I'm talking to my mom, like, it's kind of crazy we're here for this when we didn't plan it really. We got to get something that says 30th anniversary. I thought they would have mugs. I couldn't find any mugs that said 30th anniversary unless I just missed them. So yes, I got the hat that said 30th anniversary. This is just a Jurassic Park shirt that I own, but I couldn't help passing this up. They had a Jurassic Park June 11th, 1993 shirt. Now, June 11th is a really funny date. That is actually when my sister was born, June 11th, 1992. And I tease her every year. I'm like, hey, I just want to wish happy birthday to Jurassic Park. Really means a lot to me. And I'm like, I only want to celebrate Jurassic Park today. So I've been bullying her for years with that. And we ended up giving her, we bought a shirt for her too that said June 11th, 1993. She really enjoyed that. But yeah, that was it. I didn't really have a video planned for this week. I didn't really get to do Thursday videos the last 2 weeks just because this is coming out Friday because I'm filming it late on a Thursday. But later in the week videos, my solo later in the week videos, I wasn't able to do the last 2 weeks just because I was away or I was preparing to be away. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I loved going to this store. I don't know how long the pop-up is going to be there. I assume maybe a little while longer. I don't think they're going to tear it down overnight. So if it's still up, I recommend you going there. It's really, really cool. Yes, the channel is going very well. I want to thank everyone who's been watching, everyone who watched our Michael Keaton Batman reviews. Those did very well. I hope you enjoyed the Batmobile we got in them. I hope you guys have been enjoying the Indiana Jones reviews, which we're reviewing to set up for Dial of Destiny. Oh boy. So yeah, all 4 Indiana Jones movies have been reviewed so far. You can go back and check those out. We've also been going through the Nightmare on Elm Street films to build up to Freddy vs. Jason coming out in October, because there's a Friday the 13th in October. Check that out. On Patreon, I've been doing something pretty cool recently. I can't guarantee I can do this all the time. It depends on my workload. But I had enough time to edit a review early. That was the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull episode, and I made it available at the $2 tier on Patreon and for YouTube channel members. People seem to really like getting it early. So Monday's episode, which is 007 Tomorrow Never Dies, is up now on Patreon or for YouTube channel members. So you can check it out early. I still need to go through the episode again. I might make changes to it. So, or maybe if you watch it, let me know if I made any mistakes. So you can watch that right now. Again, I'm hoping I could do that for a lot of episodes. I can't promise I could do it for a lot of episodes, but that is something you could look forward to if you sign up for even the lowest tier. Speaking of that, Bloodline is back, the Hellraiser show I do with my cousin Monica. We're nearing the end. We did Hellraiser Deader, which actually, speaking of Jurassic Park, Stan Winston produced Hellraiser Deader. You might be confused why Stan Winston produced a direct-to-video Hellraiser movie. Well, we explain that in the episode. That is also at the $2 tier, available on Patreon and for YouTube channel members. The Hell World review is filmed. It's being worked on. I shot another bonus review. A lot of bonus stuff coming up. I want to get back to doing commentary tracks. I really like that. That's at the $5 tier on Patreon. And more exclusive streams. Yeah, basically I just wanted to celebrate Jurassic Park. I know I'm like a week late, but whatever. Yeah, and I just wanted to thank all the fans for being real supportive since this has become my primary gig. We will be at Too Many Games Saturday night and Sunday. Saturday is a panel, Sunday is a signing. And we will also be at VHS Fest in July at the Mahoning Drive-In and PA Horror Con. So check all of those out. Thank you for watching. And if you're new here and you watch this whole thing, please subscribe. All right, everyone. Goodbye.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.